Let's talk about a few myths that I've seen about maca. Let's dive in. The first thing I see is that because it's a plant and because it's freely available, that it's safe and correct for everyone. And this is absolutely not true. Because we see in some studies that maca has things like estrogenic effects, this is something that everyone shouldn't be using. People with hormone-sensitive conditions, so things like a propensity towards breast cancer, should absolutely not be using maca. I've heard of women complaining that when they started maca, it dysregulated their period or caused them some sort of hormonal fluctuation, and this is actually kind of what the plant does. So again, I cannot stress enough that just because something is available or becomes a hot topic doesn't mean that it's right for you. As I always recommend before taking any supplement or any over-the-counter medication, always check in with a qualified healthcare practitioner to see if it's actually a good choice for you. The second thing I see are a lot of videos out there promoting that you'll, get booty gains or you'll gain weight with using maca. You're not going to gain weight necessarily unless you are in a calorie surplus, and you're definitely not going to see any change to your butt unless you're doing some sort of targeted resistance training. And again, the calorie surplus helps too with the gains. Now, what some, especially women, report is that they notice their breasts seem a bit bigger. And again, this could come back to that hormonal aspect or that estrogenic effect that maca has. As most women know, often when you have hormonal changes, especially that time of the month, you can get things like breast swelling and breast tenderness. These are usually transient effects and change as your hormone levels change. If you're supplementing with something like maca and you're using it inappropriately, then it makes sense that you may be retaining a bit more water. So it's not that the herb itself made you gain weight. It's more that it might be messing with your hormones. Another thing I've seen out there is that capsules are better than powder. No, I've not seen any scientific evidence or any studies. In fact, when I'm using maca, I generally am recommending the powder because you have to dose it in pretty high dosages because it is actually a food. So it's very common to see dosages of 2 and 3 grams. And unless you're going to swallow a ton of pills, it's going to be easier to go with the powder. And most of the studies I've seen have all been with a powder. And the other thing I've seen out there is that the color matters. And with this one, I'm going to give like a 50-50, a yes and no. And the reason I say this is because there actually have not been a lot of studies on maca, or especially a lot of studies with maca in women in particular. The most common thought is that black maca is great for men because it helps with muscle endurance and building muscle and stamina, and also can help with spermatogenesis. And while we do see this in some of the studies, we actually see hormonal changes in both men and women with yellow, red, and black maca. So does it matter so much? I would say there's not a hard line here in saying that black is only for men or red is only for women. Again, it's going to depend on the effect that you want. The studies that I've researched have shown that the red, the yellow, and the black all help with things like concentration and focus. So in that aspect, it really wouldn't matter which one you're taking. And again, black is the least common. The yellow and the red are the most commercially available and the ones that have the most studies done on them. So when it comes to determining which color is better, it's going to depend on the effect that you're looking for and also the availability of this now more popular commercial product. So again, before starting any herb or supplement, make sure you're checking in with some sort of practitioner, a nutritionist, an herbalist, an acupuncturist, naturopathic doctor, your regular PCP. Make sure that this is something that is going to be right for your body and not going to be harmful. If this makes sense to you and you'd like to consult with me or work with me, you can click on the link below to learn how to do that. All right, I hope that this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.